Hello, everyone. It is Mark Noble with Grow for Libraries with some more 25.10 updates. And this is DIS 1312, which is all about being able to help guide the users, the patrons, through choosing which edition they want. So typically, when we have more than one edition, and this is the same no matter which layout you're using, if you're using the vertical or the horizontal, if we have more than one edition, when we go to place a hold, using this kind of top one without selecting a specific edition, it is placing a hold on the first edition. And we do a lot to sort those editions to try to get patrons the one that is going to get to them the quickest. But sometimes patrons do want specific editions, and we kind of want the mechanism to help them do that. And some patrons have been surprised that they've gotten the edition that they have. They didn't realize that maybe it was a different illustrator or a different narrator or something they wanted to choose that more specifically. So, what we have now is the ability within the library system. If we search for edition, we have a new prompt for edition when placing holds, and this controls the behavior. So by default, we are not prompting the user to pick an edition. It's going to work exactly like it does today. If you click on that top button, it's going to give you the first edition. The next option is prompting them to pick an edition, but we're defaulting to using the suggested edition. And then the other is prompt to pick an edition, and the users are going to pick that by default. So let's change this to prompt to pick an edition, but we'll default to the suggested. We will save those changes and go back and refresh this. Okay, so now when we click place hold, rather than automatically having it pick that first one, we are going to take a second to update that. Just do a full refresh. Let's place a hold. Okay, so now we've got the ability to, rather than just picking the pickup location, we have a new prompt that is, do you want to place a hold on the suggested edition or a specific edition? If we just select place hold on suggested edition, we get that top one, the same as we did before. Patrons can also choose to always place the hold on the suggested edition so they never have to kind of see this prompt. If we choose in this to say we want to place a hold on a specific edition, we now have the ability to pick and choose. We get cover information, we get all of the information about the edition for the description and that kind of thing, publication date, publisher, so that patrons can kind of choose which. In this case, I only have two. If we had more, it scrolls left to right, but we can choose which one we want. Let's submit that hold. And then when we go and we look at our titles on hold, we see that we got that second edition, the hold was placed for us. Let's go ahead and cancel that hold. Okay. And then I'm just going to go back to my search results. So we'll go back to our search for Pride and Prejudice. And let's change that again. So we're going to search for edition. We're going to change this to forcing the user to pick an edition by default. Let's save those changes. And then when we go back to our search results, let's also change just in our grouped work display. It's the same functionality, but we'll change to the other format and edition display. So here we're going to switch to the vertical list, save that. So same thing, let's just refresh, just different layout. So here we get the normal place hold button. If we click show additions, that's where we get the additional place hold buttons. So by default, we would get the place hold on the 2008 in this case. So here we get the same information. We just by default have the edition picker. So kind of depending on your library, how much you want to guide patrons. I could see, especially for academic libraries, really wanting to prompt the students to make sure that they are picking the correct edition that's going to serve them best in their classwork. Um, in this case, let's say we're going to place the hold on the suggested edition, which is going to be number 1. And we're going to choose always place holds on the suggested edition. Then we'll see when we go to our holds. We should have that first edition, or the suggested edition. We have the hold on. And if we look in our preferences, so if we go to our account settings and our preferences, now we are going to see that there is a new option to always place hold on the suggested edition, and that is turned on because we turned that on when we placed our last hold. If we turn that off, we would get the prompt again. So let's do one more. We have a Harry Potter setup for this. So this has 2 different editions. Let's place a hold. By default, we're going to get the uh, original edition. So we'll place our hold. All we have to do now is pick it. So even though the library has given us the option to do either, um, we're not prompted because we said, hey, we're just going to use the suggested one. When we submit that hold request, let's go to our holds. And we get that original edition. If we go back to our preferences, um, then when we turn this off, the next time we go through, we are prompted to place a hold, and it's going to ask us which edition that we want, and we can choose that. So if we wanted to get the other one, then we could place a hold on that one. So nice functionality for libraries that really do want to make sure that patrons understand what editions they're getting, academic libraries. Great functionality. This functionality was sponsored by CleveNet, so thank you to them for sponsoring that. I will mention that right now this functionality is limited to titles that don't require item level and volume holds. So we will um, do that in a future release. So this is just handling things where you're placing a bib level hold and picking the edition for that. So thanks again to CleveNet, and we'll talk to you again next time.